Alright, welcome back to another stream. That should be going live in a moment here. We do have a tornado that is currently on the ground in Mississippi. This is going towards northeast towards West King and Hewanee. This is currently on the ground in between Whistler and West King as of the 327 scan, which is the most current scan. Which I was looking at, also another thing too, because I was looking at the mesoscale analysis from earlier too. And there is a, just almost like kind of like yesterday, where there's a ton of instability. And then also, even with the low level lapse rates are kind of there too. It's almost similar to yesterday in terms of the cape and the lapse rates. Which, if I get that up real quick here. Give me a second, everybody. That hopefully should the right one. Okay, there we go. So here's your lapse rates, which we're looking at Alabama over here. This is the current version. So you can see 6.5 lapse rates here. And then these storms over here, which this one over here in terms of the storms that were going on near Mobile. This one produced a tornado earlier today. Hold on, let me turn off the web browser so I'd give it a little bit better review. This one I think is trying to do a recycle, but it seems to be struggling a little bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one for now, as well as one that is currently still on the ground over just northwest of Waynesboro in Mississippi. Yeah, and this one seems to be going on and off the entire time with it being on the ground too, because it originally was on the ground there and then it crossed Highway 84 and has been continuing so far towards the northeast. We may see an extension of a tornado warning. We'll have to see. And also here with the Cape, so you can see tons of instability over in the Mississippi area, Louisiana, Mississippi area over here. Not as much over by Alabama, but there is enough instability in the atmosphere that these storms can kind of fire off of. Especially with the tornado threat today too. I think there's also that storm offshore too that got the special marine warning that was been producing a water spout. Could see that potentially go on land if it continues, and could see that becoming a tornado warning. Although it's still a few miles off shore, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one as well. So we're currently gonna be having to keep an eye on 3 areas: one in Mississippi, 2 that are, one is in Alabama, and then one's near the Alabama shoreline there. Have to keep an eye on this one though. I think this is also the first time I've actually been live on a marginal risk day too. Because typically I would be live on, there's certain days I'd be like live on slight risk days or enhanced and then moderates. I don't know if I've been live on a high risk yet, but I probably eventually will in the future probably. I do want to take a look at the reflectivity too, just in case. Although we're probably going to have a little bit of a struggle looking at from this radar here in Mississippi Jackson, because we're kind of far away from the radar, and the next nearest radar would be in Mobile, Alabama. And then if these storms kind of make their way towards the northeast, between here, we'll be able to see on the one near between Tuscaloosa and also Birmingham. So we're kind of in a radar hole right now. Just go through the frames real quick. Do we have an update on the... Oh, we do not yet. So we're kind of 5 minutes behind on radar update at the moment, so we'll have to wait a little bit till we get the next one, so we can see if anything has changed at all with the debris signature, and if this is still continuing to be on the ground or not. Just open up Twitter real quick. See, I can't imagine if there's gonna be any reports or videos from on Twitter for this, but we'll always can take kind of, I guess, a gamble, see if there's anything at all. This is taking a while to update. I said we may have to see if anything's changed on the Mobile. Okay, the Mobile one has changed. So the Jackson, Mississippi one is behind. So it looks like this may no longer be on the ground, but we'll have to, of course, keep an eye on this one, just in case anything does change, since this did produce a tornado. As I did just see a post by James Petus. Looks like we have a multi-vortex going near Laurel, Mississippi via camera. Where is Laurel? Oh, right here. So I wonder if that's was because that was post from 19 minutes ago. So it's probably this right here. Wonder if we can still see anything from that radar in particular. Well, not radar, that camera in particular. We will have to see. I don't know how far back this goes though. That's the only thing. Also, I do kind of wish some cameras did tell you where they're kind of pointing, because that'd be kind of helpful. Because I'm trying to figure out which way this camera is pointing. If I turn on that, this is on has cams, so this could be pointing towards where that tornado warning storm is at. There's also a chance it could not be at the same time too. Also, can I just say this is probably the clearest camera I've seen, unlike the Department of Transportation cameras. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning up here, which has a tornado possible tag on it, which is gonna be for this little area right here, just over Vimville in Mississippi. This is gonna be crossing over into Alabama probably next couple minutes or two. Probably next 10 minutes. That'll be over in Alabama. Just take a quick look at the Mobile. Still got some rotation on this. Do we have anything in terms of... We do not have a debris signature on the ground anymore. But keep an eye on this one as well. Although, this is like the same situation as this one down here, is that we're kind of in a radar hole. It's going to be pretty difficult to pinpoint where exactly that rotation is at from this radar here. For this one right here, I think I'm just going to continue to use the mobile radar for now. So I'm just keeping my eye on that camera if anything does change on the Laurel camera. Although I don't think there's going to be much activity coming from that camera anymore, since a lot of these storms have kind of passed off to the east at this point. Although I think there is maybe a new cell that's kind of popping up behind that. Yeah, there's some showers and storms are kind of popping up behind that. This one looks kind of interesting though, because it kind of has a little bit of hook on it from what I'm seeing there. World's smallest supercell question mark? We'll have to see. Because that looks like it is trying to hook. Either that or it's got to try to do like a cell slash storm merge, and then go tornadic potentially later on. We'll have to watch that. Also still having to watch this one. We're probably gonna see a extension on the tornado warning on that one. I do want to check on the one down here, which was that water spout from earlier. That rotation doesn't look as tight as it was earlier. Definitely seems to have kind of occluded a little bit. Although over here looks like it is trying to do some re-strengthening potentially, as it is going towards the northeast, towards places such as well, this is not directly in the path of Dolphin Island, but it is kind of in the vicinity. I do want to check at this one as well, because I know this one was trying to recycle, which this one still seems to be trying to get its act together there. But I do wonder if that convection is kind of not helping me. It's not helping its own self with what's going on in front of it, I guess you could say. The convection towards the east of that doesn't look like it's doing really a whole lot. Although it looks like we are starting to see more precipitation in front of this cell right here. Take a quick back look at this one again. Still got rotation on this one. May see an extension on tornado warning on this one. Either that or just got to expire out, and we won't see a new one issued. Take a quick back look at this one as well. Still got some rotation going in there, but once again, we are kind of in a radar hole, so this one is going to be the one tornado warned area so far that we're going to be able to actually view. Tomorrow will be interesting though, considering tomorrow is a enhanced risk. And it also has that almost basically same significant severe 10% area. The chances of that going moderate, however, I think is pretty low compared to it going moderate. But we'll have to see tomorrow, depending on what the Storm Prediction Center kind of says and does. But I don't think they're gonna go moderate with it. Although it may act like a moderate, potentially, depending on the storm mode. If it's gotta be like discrete cells in front of the main the main event, and then you also got that morning convection in front too. That tomorrow as well potentially. Although the store mode seems kind of messy as well from what I've seen compared to kind of organized. Let me load up the HRRR because I know the HRRR is gonna update. Oh no, it's basically updated now. Okay. So yeah, it's a very like you could have like a couple of discrete cells in front of this line here, which this line would probably, if anything, be a QLCS tornado threat. And we have an extension on that tornado warning. This is now extending into Alabama. This is gonna be for Huey, Matherville, in Mississippi, and then in Alabama, Emory, Evansboro, Melvin, Water Valley, Paragon, Ealer, and Okatupa. Seek shelter to your belowest part of your building and or home. And if you do not have a lowest part of your building and or home, find the most interior part of your building. This is tornado warning going for almost basically an hour. More specifically, 46 minutes. So this is gonna be going on for a while for this tornado warning in particular. Once again, this tornado warning includes Huey, Matherville, Emory, Evansboro, Water Valley, Paragon, Melvin, Ealer, and Okatupa. Although technically kind of outside that polygon, but that polygon is right near your area, so I would consider taking shelter just in case, as this could change course. Although it does seem to be on a more linear northeast projection at the moment. So Evansboro, Water Valley, and Paragon and Emory would be in the path of this, most likely compared to Melvin, Okatupa, Ealer, and Melvin. This is to the east of Hiwani right now, as of current radar scan, which is basically just a second ago with now with the 346 scan. I don't think we have. Yeah, there's no CC drop because this is still radar indicated rotation. Yeah, it still seems to be kind of tight rotation on both high res storm relative velocity and then also just high res velocity in general. So we are got to watch that one probably for the next couple of moments or until this tornado warning does end up expiring out. Take a quick look at this one here, see if anything is present here. Although we are this is kind of really far from the distance to the radar here, so this one's definitely gonna be a lot more difficult to kind of spot on high res velocity. So we're probably got to take a wait on that one to see where it's kind of at. Although there's a chance that this one, depending on where that rotation kind of is, which most likely somewhere in here, probably somewhere just the east of Meridian, it'll probably be canceled out potentially. We'll have to see. Although I don't think I've ever seen a severe thunderstorm warning canceled out before. I don't think so. Maybe not. But I do want to check if there is any mesoscale discussions. I don't think there is, but I do want to take a quick look just in case. There is one. There is one, which there is two areas, which is this is a little bit of old radar data, so it's a little bit back, like maybe half hour ish ago. But these two areas so far are gonna be the areas to watch for tornadoes. At least for the best chances to see potential tornadoes. They're probably gonna be strong tornadoes. And then just this general area which has that 2% tornado risk on it. Although this 2% tornado risk feels more like a 5%. Considering the amount of tornadoes that's occurred today from Alabama and then also even Louisiana earlier today too. Over in I'm not sure which town this is right there, but that is just the northwest of Hickory and Louisiana. That would be a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag on it. It's gonna be for Matherville, Langsdale, and Horn in Mississippi. Had to run real quick. So I got this special marine warning on going. I think that water spout, that area that was rotating earlier, yeah, it's definitely died down by a lot. Kind of fell apart as it was getting towards inland. Let's take a quick look at this one here. This one is still has rotation on it still. So it still looks to be trying to organize into something, but it just seems to be potentially just struggling. And this is producing, according to the severe thunderstorm warning as well, quarter-sized hail. It's a mesoscale discussion, so just refresh itself. Although there's no new mesoscale discussion on this particular area, it's probably just doing its regular refresh compared to anything else. Still got another 35 minutes on this tornado warning. Surprised this hasn't been updated and condensed quite yet, because usually that's what they do. But maybe they're waiting until the next maybe 3-ish scans to do that. We'll have to watch and see. So watching the rotation over this way, I think that area of rotation has changed a little bit here. Although I am on still relative velocity. Let me change over to high res real quick. Yeah, it's still broad rotation. So it is trying to do something, it looks like. Oh, excuse me. Nope, chair. Switch the other way. Okay. My chair, I don't know what's up with this chair. It swings so freely for some reason. And then we just have a flash flood warning for basically a good portion of this, because this is, I think, Mobile County over here. Yeah, that water spout down here definitely has died down by a lot, or it's basically at this point almost non-existent. I will say it. Actually, this is basically non-existent at this point. Because this would be the last kind of scan where it had that really tight rotation and died off. Although maybe there kind of had some rotation, but then it's basically died off at this point. Still have that special marine warning going on for another 48 minutes there. Gotta be having to watch this one here. So we have 2 points right now that we're watching, this one and this one right here. Potentially gotta be still trying to watch this one here with this particular severe thunderstorm warned one, but it doesn't look like there's really much. But once again, problem with the distance from radar on that one. So we'll have to see what kind of happens in the next maybe 17 minutes if they either issue a new one with a tornado possible attack or they don't issue one. Because he also has that special weather statement, which goes for another 2 minutes for a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust and half-inch hail. Max Velocity just posted a new video, looks like. We'll have to watch that later on, see what he kind of says there. Still got, okay, we have broad rotation on this one. We'll have to see if they do anything with a tornado warning or not. Because they haven't really, I don't think they've really condensed it yet. Potentially they just gotta let that either expire out or just be canceled. We'll have to see. Because I know this has been going on for a while, as this did previously produce a tornado earlier near Laurel. I think we might have something offshore again, it looks like, potentially. Because it does look like it is trying to wrap up out here and potentially produce another water spout. But that's like way offshore at this point right there. And this, how many miles offshore is this? Let's take a quick look here. About 50-ish miles offshore about. There's this eyeball estimation with the measurement tool there. I do want to take a quick look at the other things here, which I know I was taking a look. Okay, radar's having issues again. Okay, I know I was looking at this one as well from earlier. That one has some rotation on it, so we may see that get tornado warned. Oh, they just updated that tornado warning. Not for the if it was observed or radar indicated. It's still radar indicated, but they did end up condensing that tornado warning since this has moved way off to the east-northeast towards Matherville, Evansboro, Water Valley, Paragon, Melvin, Okatupa, and Ealer. See if we have any updates on the mesoscale analysis at all, which doesn't seem like much has really changed at all. Yeah, much is not. There's not a lot that's changed. Actually, no, maybe a little bit has changed actually. Yeah, there's a lot less instability, but not by much. There's still quite a bit of instability over in this portion of Mississippi over here, and also Louisiana. Like this entire area here still has quite a bit of instability. Still probably could see maybe a couple tornadoes still throughout today. So with this one here, it looks like it is broadening out in terms of rotation, although we are kind of far away from the radar site. So we'll have to kind of look and see in the next couple of radar scans. Still keep an eye on the one near Wiggins, because that looks like potentially the next one that may be warned. We will have to watch. We actually may have another one just to the east of Bakun. Let me switch over to Louisiana real quick here. We actually may have another area here. I think we have these two cells here that may be trying to wrap up and turn tornadic here. So got this tornado warning going on for another 24 minutes. May see that one get canceled out potentially, depending on how that kind of progresses. Got to keep an eye on this one down here as well, just to the south of Mount Olive and to the west of Collins. That one is rotating, or has some slight rotation on it. Water needed. I also do want to take a back look at this potential water spout down here. There's a potential that potentially could produce a water spout down that way. Still got another 22 minutes on this tornado warning. 21 minutes now. It's basically now crossed over to Alabama at this point in time. Still got a tornado warning for Evansboro, Paragon, Water Valley, Melvin, and Okatupa and Ealer. So this may be actually producing some hail right there. So this is going to be one of the more... I will say this is probably going to be one of the more difficult supercells if it does produce to kind of see... Not with the rotation, but kind of just trying to see where that CC drop is going to be if it does produce a tornado. May actually have another one trying to wrap up right there too, just to the east of Lacombe in Louisiana. So got something rotating near Wiggins, and that is now a tornado warned storm. This is gonna be for 10 Mile, Perkinston, India, Big Level, White's Crossing. And it's also gonna be covering Deep Creek and Mississippi. Seek shelter now. Find your lowest part of your building and or home, or go to your basement as well. Let's just say, I think portion of Wiggins is technically in this as well. Still got that tornado warning ongoing between Mississippi and Alabama up here. So we currently have 2 tornado warnings ongoing. We'll have to see if this one does go tornadic here, because this is another rotating storm over here with this particular supercell. So we may see multiple supercells out of this line of storms here today, which we may actually be starting to see potentially the peak now with the tornadic risk for today. May have another area of rotation off to shore here. Potentially a water spout that could come onto shore if that is producing a water spout, which there is a special marine warning still. Strong thunderstorm capable of producing water spout. And then there's also potentially another area rotation out this way as well. May have to check the... Yeah, it looks like it could be a potential another area that could be rotating as well. This one looks like it was trying to produce something potentially as well. This was the other one I was tornado warned earlier, but doesn't look like it's just a very messy setup with that particular cell. Doesn't look like it's got to produce anything much more for the rest of this afternoon to this evening for that one. Got to take a quick look at the ones by Wiggins, which that rotation is just going to be just south of Wiggins in Mississippi. Still got this tornado warning ongoing over in between Alabama and Mississippi. Still got another 16 minutes on that one. Let me just check if we have any type of CC drop at all, which we may actually have something just right near Perkinston and Mississippi here. So this could possibly be upgraded to a observed tornado by radar, depending if that is actually a debris signature on the ground as of now. So it looks like there may be 2 scans here. That looks like there could be a potentially a brief touchdown from this tornado here. Once again, that tornado warning is scheduled before Perkinston, 10 Mile, Big Level, India, White's Crossing, and Deep Creek. And that tornado, that rotation is just going to be just south of Wiggins in Mississippi. I think we are starting to see some cell mergers down here because a lot of there are some discrete cells, but now they're just kind of merging with each other. Because these 2 were the ones I was looking at earlier that could have been producing potentially could have been producing something if they had strong enough rotation on them. Not that these not that these couldn't still produce something in terms of a tornado. Because these still, I think, still have potentially some rotation in them, but not a lot of rotation on them. And then we're just kind of in between radar stations when it comes to the one just to the north of, well, kind of east of Catahoula, and then also, I don't know what other town is around here, just north of Kiln in Mississippi here. See if we got any updates on the CC drop, because we are on now the 4:18 p.m. update. Yeah, I think we definitely did have just a brief touchdown just now, which just potentially produced a tornado by Perkinston and just south of Wiggins. So I have that tornado warning on going for another 10 minutes in Alabama. Although I don't think there's really a whole lot of activity in terms of rotation going on with this one. So I'm kind of surprised a little bit. That one is still tornado warning for another 10 minutes. We no longer have that severe thunderstorm warning that is all the way up here. That was just the east of Meridian. It also looks like we do have more storms and showers kind of popping up behind us still as well, and having more kind of cell mergers going towards the northeast into Alabama. I take a quick look at. Okay, yeah, this particular cell basically just fell apart as it kind of entered towards just to the east of Mount Olive. Did I bring my phone charger down here? No, I did not. We have some strong rotation on this one right here, so we may see a tornado warning on this one here. Yeah, we're definitely got to see a tornado warning on this one here once this does potentially make its way towards inland. Because we are on the 422, well, actually, no, we're on the 422 update on velocity, but the 4:20 p.m. reflectivity. Yeah, this is going to be our next one we got to watch here. Still got that tornado warning ongoing in Alabama. This is basically like still southern Alabama here. Still got another 6 minutes on that tornado warning there. Gonna be watching this particular one here because that does have a hook on it and is rotating. So we may see that have a tornado warning soon. And there is that tornado warning that I was talking about earlier. This is gonna be probably for that water spout that is coming onto land, most likely. It's gonna be for Alabama Port, Huron Bay, Nelson, Del Champs, Monluis, Fontanas, Kirawakara, South Orchard, Sunny Cove. Probably gonna be also for Bella Fontaine as well. Oh. And also Smithport and Bailey's Corner as well is going to be included in this as well. So I don't know if this is just radar indicated rather than confirmed. Because this is still over water. once it does make its way onto land, it probably become confirmed if it does end up making a debris ball area. This also does have a pretty sizable hook on it. Like, actually, let me just turn off alerts. Try to. Okay, I don't think it's gonna work very well because I can't turn off the border unless there is a way to turn off the state border, which there probably is, but I can't find a button for it. So just take a quick look at it without all the alert stuff on. See that hook right in there. See that inflow going right into it as well. And we no longer have that tornado warning going over in Emory. Well, actually, no, Emory wasn't included in it, but Evansboro, Water Valley, Paragon, Melvin, Okatupa, and Ealer. You're no longer on that tornado warning. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning going for another 3 minutes for just east of Horn and west of Melvin. So no hail reports from radar quite yet. So far this has been mostly, for the most part, I'll probably just mostly just wind and a tornado threat compared to a hail threat. And it was kind of like that yesterday too, I think, a little bit until I got into the evening hours, and then I started seeing a lot more hail reports from radar. Because I do have the next red history for hail reports on, but just really haven't seen a whole lot. Do we have any? I do have water spout reports. Let me turn on flood reports as well. See if there's anything of the sorts in terms of flood reports, which I don't think there is. There is, of course, that tornado report from earlier, which was over by Union Church. Still got about 30 to 40, some parts 45 knots of wind shear near the surface. I do want to take a look at helicity. Quite a bit of helicity still, especially in that northern portions of Alabama. Take a look at instability. Still got quite a bit of instability. Most of it seems to be over in Louisiana. Still got that instability over by Mississippi as well, which is the area that we're kind of looking at over here, which there is that tornado warning still for the areas. Big Level Whites crossing Ramsey Springs, Deep Creek. They're probably going to end up updating this tornado warning and condense it, since this is still radar indicated and that rotation is still there as of the 4:29 p.m. radar scan update. Still got this area of rotation over here, which is still for Heron Bay, Alabamasport, Nelson, Dale Champs, South Orchard, Mount Lewis, Bailey's Corner, and Smithport. I do want to take a look at if there is anything going on here, because I know there was a couple areas that looked like they were going to be discrete cells and potentially produce something like this one right here, which is like a smaller cell, and also this one. But then there was kind of just like a cell merger there. So now this is probably more than likely just more outflow dominant if there is any type of discrete cells in this line. And it's also more of a wind threat at this point in time. We also still have this, which was tornado warned earlier, I think. No, this wasn't tornado warned. This one is still the one that is still tornado warned. This one was not tornado warned at all. Which it did have rotation on it earlier. I do want to check if there's anything else starting to pop up back here. That cell that was by Mount Olive has basically fallen apart completely at this point in time. And potentially if there is any rainfall left, it's just going to be a shower. But it does not look like anything much at this point in time. And this is now falling apart as it's getting towards land now. Is starting to lose that hook it had beforehand when it did produce that water spout from earlier. We're down to one tornado warning. It looks like they did end up canceling that tornado warning over in Mississippi. Do actually have a flood report up here where we do have a flash flood warning. Let's see. Report of flooding across Highway 493 just north of Meridian city limits. Location 3, south-southeast Bailey, Mississippi. Yeah, rotation is definitely... I mean, the rotation's still there, but it's definitely falling apart a little bit. You definitely still see that inflow, which is right in that notch right there. Still got another 39 minutes on this tornado warning. That is definitely starting to fall apart a lot as it's getting into onshore here. Still got broad rotation at this point in time on this particular tornado warning. Since this was a waterspout that was warned as it was getting onto land, or nearing land, I should say. Still got 8 minutes on this special marine warning, but that's probably going to be expired out, if anything, compared to the tornado warning. Still got broad rotation on this tornado warning. It's probably going to be canceled out. Although it still seems to have somewhat a little bit of an inflow notch here, but that hook is definitely kind of just merged in with the rest of that cell. Let me just turn on a radar loop real quick here. Kind of zoom in a little bit here. Or both. Not zoom in, zoom out, I should say, a little bit. 115 alerts. 2 special weather statements. Both of those are going to be in Mississippi. Where's that second one at? It's all the way up here. And then there's 2 flash flood warnings. You got one over by Mobile, and then you got this other one, which is by Meridian in Mississippi. And then you have a special marine warning, which is this one right here, which is basically in the Mobile, Alabama area. I do kind of wonder what the excessive rainfall looks like. It's like a weird shape of green. It's a weird shade of green. Even with this marginal risk of excessive rainfall there. What about day 3? So it's basically marginal risk of rainfall all 3 days, basically. Now there's my tropical outlook I can do. Click on that. See if there's any tropical systems out there. There's one over by Australia, it looks like, and Thailand. But I obviously I can't view that on Radar Omega at all, because the only available satellites on Radar Omega is the ones that I can view here in the US. And of course the main development region in the Atlantic. Would be kind of nice to get a satellite where I can look at the Pacific. Like, well, not well. There are two of these that I can look at the Pacific, but it'd be nice to kind of have ones where I can look in this portion of the world over here. I do wonder if this did have a debris ball at all, but I don't. I can't imagine it did because it mostly was over water. You can kind of see even on the CC, it had that hook right there, and then it kind of fell apart as it was getting into land. Yeah, that bin flow is basically almost just gone at this point for that particular cell. Radar update. Still got some. Seems like we still have rotation still, although it does seem to be kind of falling apart still. So it looks like they're still continuing that tornado warning. They just condensed it. It's going for another 29 minutes with this particular tornado warning. I will need to get my charger for my phone, which I actually probably should get that now. So give me a second. I will be right back. All right, got my phone charger. Cause I don't want my phone to completely die out. Still need to be charged. I do want to check something. Because I know it's day 2. I don't think they updated it at all. Because it's still relatively in the same areas. Unless it got expanded a little bit east. Not 100% sure. Wind and tornado risk seem to be the highest for tomorrow. Still got that hail risk, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a hail risk as much as a wind and tornado risk for tomorrow. I do want to take a look at where surface fronts are as well. Let's look at that low pressure surface front is like right there. I don't know how often surface fronts kind of change though. That's the only thing. Because I don't usually look at surface fronts as well on Radar Omega too often, unless I need it for a specific reason. What other ones? County outages. I do want to take a look at county outages, which Wayne County has a bunch of power outages going on, which most of that's probably gonna be over in Waynesboro, probably, because that is where a tornado did kind of go through earlier today. There's also ones up here toward Madison County and Yazoo County. There's also a couple of these ones here, such as Wilkinson County, Franklin County, Jefferson County, and also Claiborne County as well. I don't know if there's any other power outages anywhere else down here. There's a couple of power outages over in Texas, such as Palo Pinto County and Stevens County as well. So there's power outages over there. And I think that's about it so far. The visible, at least down here from the past couple of days, I can kind of see in terms of power outages. There is actually power outages over here in Logan County for Bellefontaine in Ohio, and then over in the Quad Cities area, look, there's power outages as well. Not sure what's going on there, but something of some sort, I will say. Yeah, we may see this tornado warning area get canceled out soon, because that is seems to be kind of falling apart a little bit here. Although maybe it could be trying to recycle potentially. We'll have to watch the next couple scans, because we did just have like almost about a 5 minute gap in between radar scans there, so we'll have to watch and obviously see. I've been noticing. I just noticed something up here towards Deep Creek, because that is definitely tied to rotation. Is this still the one? This is one from earlier. It is. So I think this one's trying to strengthen back up in rotation again, potentially, and produce another tornado. Might take a look at if anything has dropped it all on a CC, which I don't think there has, but just making sure just in case, because that is trying to wrap up again. Look at our 20 minutes on a tornado warning over in Alabama. We'll have to see if this one gets tornado warned or not. Because how long has this been trying to wrap up for? It's been trying to wrap up again, trying to recycle for a while again, it looks like. Alright, I'm back, everybody. That rotation over in Mississippi has not got tornado warned, as far as I know, still. Although there is rotation on it. So we may not see if they haven't warned it by now, they probably won't see a tornado warning on it in a while. They're probably going to let that tornado warning over in Alabama expire out. Although it still looks like there's some type of inflow going on in there, and it's trying to hook again. But the rotation doesn't look like much on radar. Just currently watching this portion of the storm here. Might be maybe a tiny bit of rotation on in there, because just considering that it has that hook and that inflow array in there. But if I just go through this, maybe more precipitation is like popping on the sides of it, and that may just weaken the chance of this actually continuing to rotate and being able to produce another tornado. Still got the one over here. Still got rotation on this one here. Still not tornado warned on it. This one is east of Deep Creek. This was the one that did previously produce a tornado over near Wiggins. Still got another 7 minutes on the Alabama tornado warning. I don't think we have any severe thunderstorm warnings. No, we do not have any severe thunderstorm warnings. We got one tornado warning still ongoing. So we got flood advisory and also a flash flood warning as well. And of course, a bunch of in different other states as well. We got flood warnings compared to a flash flood warning. There's also a water spout report here. That's the first one I've seen in a while. But that's probably because I don't have water spout reports on all the time though. So giving it in a minute. Got another 6 minutes till this expires out. This is still rotating here with the one over in Mississippi. Not sure if we'll see a tornado warning on that one. Still. So I'm just taking a quick look at Twitter as well, see if anything's been posted about If there's been anything posted about any tornadoes today, because I know there was a couple reports today, like this one here. Wonder if anyone's got that one on any photos or videos on that one, or the one that was by Wiggins. I'll have to take a look. Apparently, with the waterspout, which was by Rolston Park. Where is that? Or Royston Park. One of the two. I don't think it's gotta want to pop up for some reason. Which I imagine is probably this then. Probably. Very large. Yeah, it's this one right here. Wedge tornado. Not wedge tornado. Wedge waterspout. Still got another 4 minutes on this tornado warning. So far, I haven't really seen any photos or pictures of any of the either tornadoes and also waterspout today yet. Will be interesting to see if that kind of pops up later on Twitter. Oh, I think someone got it. Got it. Well, let me just put that to there. So it's like that right there, basically. Right in there. That's a pretty large waterspout. I don't think we've seen waterspouts this large ever since, I can't remember if it was Helene or Millen or both that had large waterspouts. I think it was Helene. Either that or it must have been Debbie. I can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. Apparently Ryan Scholl got a bunch of seashells, looks like. Not sure what beach that is, but he's got a bunch of shells. This is about to expire in the next minute here. Let's take a look at this one again real quick. The one that I've been seeing that's getting kind of rotating. This is still rotating now. It's kind of an unwarned rotation at the moment. Not sure if they'll issue one or not for that, or if they're just gotta leave it. Because I think we have even something over here too, I think. Kind of starting to try and potentially rotate as well. Do that. Okay, there we go. Still got a minute on this tornado warning, which should expire out in the next couple of seconds here, probably. And there we go. We no longer have any tornado warnings. That is the first time in a while. Now we just have made flash flood warning graphics, which there's these flash flood warnings over here, which all the way there's quite a few in Texas, which a lot of this is probably from the activity from yesterday. Because now there's a bunch of rainfall that occurred from the line of storms that happened yesterday. And we just have a flood advisory that covers over Mobile here. I'm kind of curious, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected over the area. This additional rain will result in minor flooding. So we got some minor flooding ongoing over in Mobile, potentially, from all the rainfall today. At least for the low-lying areas. And also just, yeah, poor drainage areas, basically, and low-lying areas. Which I'm not too sure which specific areas of Mobile are going to be the poor drainage areas and the low-lying areas. I imagine it's going to be somewhere along the coastal areas, potentially around here. Or somewhere around in here, potentially. I do need to make flash flood. I do need to make a flood advisory graphic as well, probably, and then add that onto my stream deck. There's a lot of alerts that I don't quite have yet onto my stream deck, because on my stream deck I have multiple different tabs for different alerts. So I got my flood, tropical, severe thunderstorm, and then tornado. And then below that, I just have all the links to different sites. So I got the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, Tropical Tidbits, Cyclonic, WX, this College DuPage satellite and radar, and then also the College DuPage mouse, which I'm probably gonna eventually add Pivotal Weather onto there. I was gonna say, I wish I had a camera on or something so I could show you the stream deck. Although with the webcam, it wouldn't show it very well anyways, because it make the brightness, make the colors so bright on the stream deck. But I guess that's Logitech cameras for you. This one still looks like it's trying to hook and potentially drop something. Gotta keep an eye on this one here. No CC drop. Like, that could be something, but I don't think it is. Because it's be positioned right there instead of up here. Got a bunch of lightning on this sector of storms over here. Let's update my title real quick. Now, I'm gonna make a, where is, oh, there. And then we'll make the colors with a gradient green. All right, and then download that, and download that, and then I'll show you guys kind of how I do my graphics, I guess, with how I add them on. So I kind of, hold on, I need to actually rename this file. Flood Advisory. All right, there we go. And then you kind of just add it on, and then I'm gonna try to eyeball it. But typically eyeballing it sometimes doesn't work out too well. So we'll do that, and then that. I may have to change that later on, especially for that right there. There we go. That should be sent properly now. And I just need to do that. And I'll turn off that, and I'll turn on that. And then there we go. And that's how you do it. Wait. Okay. Overlays. Oh, I get hiccups now. And I think for the most part with the activity now for anything tornadic is not low, because we still maybe have a brief spin up or two, but I think for the most part it's almost pretty much just done for tonight at this point. Still got this flash flood report there, of course, from earlier over in Meridian, Mississippi. So a lot of that precipitation is still outside of Mobile, but we did have quite a few rounds of showers and storms kind of go through Mobile today. Let me go through 75 frames because that'll probably shoot it a little bit better. Although I don't know how far back does it got to go. Okay, so I gotta go to 257 on the 75 frames, so 25 more frames back. You really see that this particular storm right here that I've been kind of watching kind of hook. Still surprised that doesn't have a tornado warning on it, considering. All right, 213 apparently on that one. All right, the last one is 150 frames, which is as far back as I can go with the current tier I have on my Radar Omega. So I'll just have to see how far I can go back. I should be able to go far back. Yeah, 12:21 p.m. So you can see kind of some initial storms from earlier today, which a couple of those did get tornado warned, I think, too. Yeah, a lot of precipitation that went through Mobile today from around, looks about 12:46, 12:57, and then again from like 1:28 all the way to basically 3:25, and then now we have this a little bit of precipitation there from in a 4 o'clock hour there. Now we just have this line right there, which I think is kind of deviating more northeast of Mobile compared to kind of like going up a little bit more north. .523 radar update. Still watching this particular area of rotation to see if it kind of progresses or not. Which it does still have that inflow going into it. Although it looked a little bit more healthy there compared to the current scan. I wonder if this one over by Loosedale is trying to do something as well. Doesn't look like it's doing really anything, but this area right here I'm kind of watching just in case for that one on the Loosedale storm that's kind of going towards northeast, towards places such as Rock Creek and Earlville there. Watching this one and this one at the moment. Although this one is definitely still has that rotation on it. Although, how far behind are we? Oh no, we're only like actually we're on current scan right now for velocity. So I wonder if there's anything else going on with the line of storms down here. I was gonna say this is gonna be this area here is gonna be I feel like difficult to kind of tell what's kind of going on there. What if I turn on smoothing? Hold on. Yeah, even on smoothing, it doesn't look like there's really much. Because that would be like if there was rotation there, but I don't think that's rotation. That's just straight up just wind in there. There's not really a hook on that one either compared to like this one right here, which does still, as of the scan from 2 minutes ago, still have some rotation on it. Can I click my mouse properly? I don't know. So I'm kind of curious what the radar loops look like. From yeah, this one's definitely still rotating. Even basically almost, I want to say almost like an hour, almost basically hours ago from the last time this was rotating way over here. Yeah, it's basically almost an hour because this originally was producing a tornado earlier just south of Wiggins, and now it's like way over here. I was gonna say this particular one, something I feel like this one's trying to do something wrapping up in that particular part of the storm there. Definitely gotta have to watch that one. Although even on velocity, it doesn't really show much. So every time I look at the radar, like the current radar scan, it's always like 2 minutes behind so far with the last 2 scans that I've seen. I feel like that's what's going on here with radar here. Either that I'm just not noticing in the first place. I don't know. My nose is itching. So I will say that's one thing I hate is like it's like when your nose just itches. Well, we're on a current reflectivity scan, but not velocity. So I don't think we have anything up way up this way. I'm kind of curious what's going on for the rest of Alabama. There's a long line of storms, basically. A lot of precipitation. Probably much needed precipitation. Although it's not spring, so maybe not. And it's also not summer either. It's winter. So probably not rain needed at all, actually. Alright, so we're on 3 minutes behind the radar scan. Although, well, we're on current update radar scan, but 3 minutes behind at the same time. Still got rotation right there. Although, looks like something is starting to pop up just to the east of Loosedale there. I think we're starting to have some cell mergers as well. Oh, well, yeah, welcome back to welcome back to another welcome back. Kind of just looking at two different cells right now, and that is between mostly between Mississippi right now. Although this one still has a bunch of precipitation over in Alabama. Starting to see some showers starting to pop up below these as well. And this might go more linear compared to discrete. Although, not that we couldn't see some discrete cells in front of this, but yeah. I was gonna say tomorrow is gonna be a interesting setup. So if I look at, let me bring up pivotal weather real quick here. I don't know what GR2 analysis is on my stream deck. You kind of see, are we on 18Z? Yeah, we're on 18Z. I'm like, what? Yeah, what Z are we on now? So that's through kind of tonight into tomorrow. And then this is like, well, actually, no, this is, what is this, Friday? And then 6 o'clock Saturday, which is bunch of, yeah, it still looks like there's some discrete cells that's gonna be in front of that, and then that back line's gonna be like QLCS type of threat potentially. But it still seems kind of messy on pivotal weather. This morning in Tennessee is around 6 o'clock, but I woke up not even like 5 minutes after I just woke up and started pouring rain. I was gonna say that's I feel like that's kind of like the almost kind of like the best way to wake up in the morning, to be honest. Just hear some like nice rain. No, that's not it. Did my what turned off? Oh, that's what turned off. That. Okay, the radar mega apparently needed to load whatever frame that was. This was a little bit more discreet a little bit ago. Got more precipitation starting to pop up in front of this thing. So that's probably gonna slow down whatever rotation is popping up on velocity here. Was watching this earlier too, because I know this was still rotating and was unwarned. What's your favorite type of radar you use? Velocity. I was gonna say, yeah, velocity I feel like is like the best radar product to kind of look at. Because it's kind of interesting to see how things kind of just like either rotate or how strong winds are coming from. Like in case of like a hurricane to be like a hurricane, and I just see those like bright greens and stuff like that. You can see like the circle of the eye. Always interesting to look at, and you kind of analyze what's going on your radar and whatnot. It looks like there's this other. I didn't realize this popped up finally, because I know there was another tornado report that occurred somewhere over here, just like northeast of Union Church. Because there's just this one that was just south of it, and then this one that just popped up just now, looks like. And I think we just had this one here. Yeah, this one just popped up as well. Reported wispy condensation funnel producing small tree debris being lofted up from a nearby bridge. No obvious damage to be found on the ground. Appears to have occurred in a heavily wooded area with no road access. Public report via Twitter. Here in Tennessee, I live in Hickman County, and we had a windstorm. But I think the highest winds ever recorded were like close to 90. But that windstorm blew the rough roof off our local newspaper. It's supposed to say local newspaper building, but there's the character. Ah, yeah, character limit again. I was gonna say, I'm slowly starting to notice a small dent in this right here. Whether or not that we'll get tornado warned or not, well, time will tell. Because this one was rotating, but didn't get tornado warned. Because I think this area is all Mobile here, and then you just have Mississippi Jackson in this area here. I don't remember the exact sizes of CWA regions. I wish Radar Omega had that feature on here. Radar Omega really needs more features on their app. I mean, it already has like tons of features already, but I don't know. I feel like there's some missing things that could be added, to be honest. I use online radars, not Radar Omega. I was gonna say because I know there's a couple of like online like website radars like WeatherWise. I don't know. I don't know what other sites are out there are like that. Although I know that I know there's a couple. I know there's a few sites out there that exist like that, but I don't remember off the top of my head what the specific ones are other than WeatherWise. Because I've always used Radar Omega. I have a little bit of a merger there with this little area of precipitation. So that could affect the area of rotation on this particular cell here. That looks like it is trying to hook. Oh yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Still talking through Alexa. Yeah, okay. So quick update again. Yeah, this is definitely trying to hook here. I'd be surprised if we don't see a tornado warning on this one here. Although velocities, I mean, the velocities don't look particularly strong either, though. That's the only thing. But it definitely looks like it is trying to wrap up and potentially produce a tornado. And it's also gonna be crossing over into Alabama as well. Are you agreeing it's just this point already for tomorrow that we're getting this weather for a marginal? I think so. As you said, let me take a look at the SBC mesoscale analysis real quick. Yeah, there's the instability is still definitely there for these to. Yeah, instability still there. What about wind shear still there? What about the low level lapse rates? Low level lapse rates are a lot lower than they were earlier today, but the instability and wind shear is still there. So I would say so myself is definitely still there for some storms that are gonna be potent. Let me just do that. All right. So here's the SPC mesoscale analysis here. So you can see this is like basically near the surface. and then you got your instability. And where to start? We're looking at basically around in here somewhere, so you can still see still enough instability for these storms to get going. And then there's a low level lapse rates. I do want to check. I think it's this one right here. One of them. Storm relative felicity. Effective. Can this? Well, website's being weird with when I'm trying to hover over stuff. Alright, I just saw this update on radar here. It doesn't look like as much of a hook. Tennessee for tomorrow, we got marginal risk for almost all the state. But I think they think they're gonna give my area a slight risk in Hickman County. I do no. Hold on, let me turn on the severe weather outlook real quick for day 2. So yeah, pretty much yeah, a lot of the state is under that marginal. Wouldn't be surprised if this slight risk gets basically just moved to a little bit more to the east northeast. Started to sound like me half time. I can't even pronounce what I'm trying to say. For real. Like my native language is English, but yet sometimes quote unquote, like English is literally my native language and I can't speak it properly. It's amazing. Readjust my chair. Yeah, okay, this one definitely does not look like it has much of a hook as it did on this CN right here. So this may be starting to die down a bit with this particular cell. Although this one looks like it's trying to hook as well now as well. Even with that the mergers it did there. I'm gonna let the loop go for a second here, and I'm gonna be right back. All right, I'm back. So I think, yeah, both of these. This one, yeah, this one's definitely trying to hook a little bit more now too. This one I think is trying to recycle potentially. Although on velocity it looks like an absolute mess. This one I'm keeping an eye on. Because this one looks like it could potentially do something. But these two look like the most concerning right now. Compared to this one right here. Wow, that is a weird. That is a weird arrow. Okay. Yeah, these two right now are the two that I am concerned with right now. Feel like the back one merges with the front one. It could nudge and create more tornadogenesis. I was gonna say there is a chance, although there is I will say a pretty sizable gap between the two still, even with this being right here. This one looks like it's trying to hook again here. Also, I will say that's a really low hook as well, compared to what it was looking like earlier. So I'm just looking at Storm Prediction Center's Twitter. Nothing new so far. Last update that they posted onto Twitter was the fire weather outlook, and that's about it. And then before that was the mesoscale discussion, which since then has expired out. Watching this back one right now. This one looks like it's... The middle one looks like it's less of a concern than it was earlier. Back one and front one, I look like they're going to be most concerning right now. 4,000 people in Cintronel. So hopefully it doesn't do anything. And so hopefully this dies out sometime. Because this looks like it could do something major, just considering that it's now trying to hook again. Probably might not see anything. Probably not see anything considering how strength any we can back and forth like Tennessee weather. So every scan so far that I've seen, there's more and more precipitation kind of forming around us. So I just saw a tweet from Giovanni Rizzazzi. Just over on Twitter. With a confirmation of 5 tornadoes in southeast Texas from yesterday's severe weather, 2024 is now up to 1,671 tornadoes. To beat 2008's tornado count of 1,695 tornadoes, the magic number is down to 25. With surveys from yesterday, today, and the next few days, we should beat that. Kind of interesting how many tornadoes occurred this year. Alright, that back end right here is becoming less concerning compared to this one right here. And more will still likely occur tomorrow. That's for sure. Which I'm kind of interested in seeing how each model kind of rolls out, especially the H triple R. See how much of that is gonna kind of occur tomorrow, and see how much of the storm mode is gonna be discrete and how much is gonna be linear, and how many of those are either gonna be from tornadoes from discrete cells, and how many of those are gonna be embedded tornadoes. I watch almost every single of the springtime happen live. I was gonna say because springtime is probably, besides the winter months when the South is having its tornado season, probably like the main prime time for a lot of severe weather and tornadoes that we've seen pretty much all year. Not that we don't see obviously tornadoes in other months, because I was gonna say take a quick look at July, and I think even June too, but maybe more or less July, because we had that derecho go through the Midwest in July. I don't remember how many tornado reports and tornadoes occurred during that. Or I know, but it's more like I know, but I don't remember the exact number. I should say, because I know it was quite a few. The derecho produced 56 tornadoes across Iowa, Wisconsin, and Illinois. 48 of those tornadoes occurred in Illinois, and 32 of those occurred in the National Weather Service Chicago forecast area. Man, I really like when Twitter shows me like posts that are like from a day ago, because I'm still seeing posts from the El Campo tornado. Yeah, those back two storms have become less. These two have become less of a concern. This one I'm still watching for now, see if it does any progression. Although it did seem like it did have a hook, and but on the current scan, the hook would be right in here. Although it did have a little bit more precipitation kind of merge with it, so we'll have to see how that kind of factors into that little area there. So on current scan, it still looks like there's some type of hook in here still, and there's that inflow that's gonna be right in there. That looks like a G with a minus on it. All right, that flood advisory is done down there. So now we're just on a gray, like kind of gray display, I guess you'd call it. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what the default graphic looks like. So velocities look messy on radar here as well, even with that looking like a hook. Which that inflow area may be trying to close up there, or is closing up. Make sure there's nothing that occurred in terms of a CC drop. Which I don't think that doesn't look like anything made a touchdown in terms of a tornado. So I swear, base velocity and base reflectivity looks so weird. Alright, hiccups. So I wonder if there's any other alerts in this area as well. Uh, Probably I want to probably take a look at if there's any fog advisories at all. Oh yeah, there is. It's some fog advisory going all the way from Corpus Christi all the way up towards this portion of Mississippi. Quite big area of dense fog. I think that that hook has basically been cut off from its inflow almost. I think at this point. So it's probably not much of a concern at this point in time. Although I do want to take a quick look here. Yeah, I will say spammers are honestly kind of annoying. I will say. Especially if it's something that's being spammed that's not that's not relevant to what's ongoing in the stream or something like that. somehow the first one gets its act together. There isn't any more small storms navigating its way from the south. Yeah, pretty much. Because this entire line of storms here are the three that we've been kind of just looking at that have been the ones that kind of look like they could produce something. Especially this front one, since it did do a hook. So I'm looking at this one because this one still looks like it could do something of some sort. Especially with this bottom part here. We'll probably have to see what this kind of does over the next probably, I want to say probably 10 minutes or so to see if it does anything or not. If it doesn't do anything for the next 10 minutes, I'll probably close out the stream for tonight. Depending. Alright, do we got anything? Is this guy refresh? No? Okay. It was 506. Nothing from the Storm Prediction Center. Do we got anything from the Weather Prediction Center? Why is this keyboard not focusing on the right thing? Okay. Amazing. And my keyboard is about to die. Alright, there we go. Well, there is one post from the Weather Prediction Center from 3 hours ago. Which one is for Saturday and one's for Sunday. Which, for the area that we're looking in, is still a marginal risk of excessive rainfall. And then Sunday from the almost basically like northwestern portion of South Carolina all the way up to New York, for a good portion of New York, marginal risk of excessive rainfall as well. Yeah, this one. This one looks like it's wanting to do something again here, though I will say, just gotta keep a focus on this one for now, and hopefully it doesn't produce anything, but it looks like it wants to produce something over time here. I'm also looking at the weather prediction center for day 3 to 7 U.S. hazard outlook, Pennsylvania and New York. So I wonder if I can pull this up on Radar Omega. I probably not, but day 3 severity index, maybe not. No, okay. I thought I was gonna be able to turn that on, but actually, hold on. Let me. Where is there? So here's the hazards outlook. So you can see heavy snow, heavy snow. That's probably gonna be more or less just lake effect snow, if anything. And then you got your high winds risk over here. Then just gotta get the excessive rainfall outlook real quick here. There's the excessive rainfall outlook. So this is for tomorrow, right here where we're looking at basically. Marginal risk of excessive rainfall, and then up toward starting from this portion of South Carolina all the way up to New York. Also a marginal risk of excessive rainfall, scattered flooding, isolated flooding as well. Looks like weekend's the biggest threat over in Northern California looks like, and also Southern Oregon. I just refreshed my Twitter, and the top post is just something from yesterday with the enhanced risk that we had from yesterday. Although Shreveport looks like they got some preliminaries out there for 2 of the tornadoes. It's this one, which occurred over by west of Alliance, Louisiana, which preliminary of EF1. And then you got this other one here, which west of Clay, Louisiana, also a preliminary of EF1. Which imagine some of this is probably either both tree damage, I'm guessing, and then probably maybe building damage, depending on where these occurred. But I'm gotta guess probably mostly tree damage, if anything. Still watching that first one. That's by Cintronell. Take a look at velocities real quick. Which doesn't look very impressive at all with if there is any rotation in there at all. Maybe just outflow at this point. That back one also looks interesting as well. Because I think a lot of these are starting to get close to each other and starting to merge with each other now. Because this one looks like it's trying to hook right here. Even so, I'm looking at a Twitter post. Even someone else noticed this as well with the first one, where it was hooking. Yeah, this one right here looks like it basically is now just outflow dominant at this point in time, compared to any type of tornado threat coming out of that system there. Still seeing posts from yesterday. So this is still experimental right here, but looks like the Climate Prediction Center has some slight risk of heavy snow outlined from the 4th of January all the way to the 7th, and then from the 7th to the 10th for the eastern coast states. So it's gonna be interesting to see if we get that snow or not, because snowstorms are a absolute pain to forecast. But yeah, I think that's gonna be good for tonight's stream. Subscribe, notifications. Feel free to do that. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow's stream, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, because tomorrow could be probably one of the biggest days of the maybe not the year, but the month in terms of severe weather activity.